The Gospel according to Mark, chapter 6, passage 3, the first multiplication of bread. The apostles gathered around Jesus and reported to him all they had done and taught. And he said to them, "Come away by yourselves to a deserted place and rest a while." For many were coming and going, and they had no leisure even to eat. So they went away in a boat to a deserted place by themselves. But many saw them leaving and recognized them, and they hurried there on foot from all the towns and arrived ahead of them. When Jesus went ashore, he saw a large crowd, and he had compassion on them, because they were like sheep without a shepherd. And he began to teach them many things. By this time it was late, so his disciples came to him and said, "This is a deserted place, and it is already very late. Send them away, so they can go into the surrounding countryside and villages and buy themselves something to eat." But he answered, "You give them something to eat." They said to him, "Should we go and spend 200 denarii on bread and give them to eat?" He asked them, "How many loaves do you have? Go and see." When they found out, they said, 5 and 2 fish. Then he instructed them to have all the people sit down in groups on the green grass. So they sat down in groups of hundreds and fifties. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish and looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves. Then he gave them to his disciples to distribute to the people. He also divided the 2 fish among them all. They all ate and were satisfied, and the disciples picked up 12 basketfuls of broken pieces of bread and fish. The number of men who had eaten was 5,000. Let's look at this from a perspective of faith. In this story of the miraculous multiplication of bread and fish, Jesus not only teaches but also attends to the physical needs of the people. Seeing the crowd that listened to his teachings all day, Jesus had compassion on them, viewing them as sheep without a shepherd, lost and in need of not just spiritual but also material support. His response to the crowd's needs is full of compassion and care. Instead of sending the people away, Jesus decides to feed them, demonstrating his love and complete care for those who listen to him. The miracle of the multiplication of bread and fish shows how Jesus cares for our lives in a holistic way, both spiritually and physically. It is a reminder that our daily needs, both material and spiritual, are not foreign to Jesus. He sees our struggles and can transform even small resources into something that can meet the needs of many. Jesus proves that we need not worry about our well-being, as God knows our needs and can satisfy them if we trust him. A touching moment in this story is the cooperation of the disciples, who initially did not understand how they could assist in this miracle, thinking that 2 fish and 5 loaves were too little to feed 5,000 men. However, Jesus, showing them that even small resources in his hands have immense potential, involves them in the distribution of food. This is an important lesson for us. Even if we feel our resources are small, in Jesus' hands they can become a source of abundance and blessing for others. This story encourages us, in times of crisis when we feel inadequate, to trust God, knowing he can multiply our resources and use us to help others. The miracle of the multiplication of bread also teaches us that God cares for us fully, both our spiritual and physical needs, and that we should share what we have, trusting fully that he will meet the needs of others as well as our own. May what you've heard bring you peace. Your friend greets you with gratitude.